This video is going to show you the registration form section of InContact. So that is this section up here. I'll click on it, and this allows your instructors to take InContact out with them onto the training pads and onto the road and actually enter details as they go and collect information from your students. So I'll show you the first screen of this. This allows you to select the date and then see what courses are going on that date. So if, for example, I select the 24th here, there's nothing going on there, but if I select the 27th, you'll see it shows there's 2 CPT courses, 1 other course and 2 test courses. I'll assume that I am the instructor who is carrying out the CPT courses, so I'm going to click on this button here, and here it will show me the 2 students that I have for my CPT today. If I pick on the first one here, Emma McDonald, it will then give me 4 choices where I can fill in the registration form, view and sign the disclaimer, add the notes after the road ride, and change the allocated bike, which currently is GJ10HXB. So I'll go into the first one, which is to complete the registration form. So I'll click on that. This allows me to view and update any of the information. So if this is on a tablet, you can hand this to the student and get them to update any of the information that's incorrect. And once they say, yep, that's fine, click on the OK button here, and you'll see now how that will change. The here we go, details checked has now changed to a green tick, so you know that part has been completed. The next part is signing the disclaimer. So I'll click on that, go to View and Sign Disclaimer. Here is the text of the disclaimer. You can customize this to how you want it to be, and then the student can read this. I'll then click on the Agree and Sign, and here you'll see this is a screen very similar to what the delivery drivers will hand to you when you are signing for something. So in this section here, I can sign my name here as best I can. If I think no, this isn't right, you can click on the try again and give it another go, and when you're happy with that, then you click on this button here, I'm happy with this, and that then puts in the signature and records that the disclaimer has been agreed to. Next is adding the notes after the road ride. So I'll click on that, choose add notes after road ride. And this is where your instructor can enter any feedback after the road ride. That goes in this box here. So I'll enter some feedback here. Then your instructor, if it hasn't put the correct instructor in here, then you can select it from the instructor list. So each instructor can then select their name. And you can also issue a CPT certificate from here if they have passed their CPT. So if I click here, then it asks me for the CPT certificate number, which I'll select from the list. It puts in the driving license number for you to correct if necessary, puts in the issue date and the issue time, choose restrictions as normal if necessary, and that's it. So I'm going to click on the OK button there, which then enters the notes for the road ride. There we go, we've got the green tick, so all of those have been entered. The last thing I can show you is to change the allocated bike, because when bikes are allocated, it could be that on the day the student actually gets a different bike. So what you can do is change the bike at any time. So if I click on here, here's my list of bikes. I'm going to say, well, actually they were on GJ10HXC. So click on that, there you go, you see it change there, and if I click on the back button, it should also change in the description up here. Now that shows you what the instructor sees, but if we now go into the diary and refresh it, you'll see that what actually happens from the diary end is actually putting in that information as the instructor's entering it. So we see here we got the feedback from Frankie Howard, completed all sections well, and then the bike change is documented as well. So everything that the instructor does is actually put into your diary entry on the day. Okay, I'll nip back to the registration form section, and I'll go back here to show you the other courses section. So on this day we've got Robert Newton, who is taking the DAS day today. So we've got very similar set of controls here: registration form, disclaimer, add notes after road ride, and change the allocated bike. I'll then go back to the test courses. They are ever so slightly different. If I click on here, you'll see it just goes to the notes section. It allows you to change the bike here, or allocate a bike in the first case, because in this one it actually hasn't been allocated. So I'll pop a bike in there. That was the bike they used. You can then record if they passed their test. So if I tick on the tick box here, then we'll say yes, they passed the test, the staff member that was with them, and then an optional feedback box here. To save typing, you can also select some of the feedback text. So we've preset some of the feedback text here. We'll click on those, and that then allows us to enter some details quickly. So we'll put in the name of the examiner here, and then we'll put in the number of serious faults, which was 0 because they passed, and then the number of minor faults, which was 2. And then I'll click on the OK button there. Right, and that's then saved, and you'll see that's then showing notes added. So once again, if I go back to the diaries and then refresh, we should see here, there we go, there's the notes in the diary being updated. Shows the bike change and the feedback and the instructor examiner name and the faults, serious faults and minor faults. So hopefully you can see that this allows your instructors to pass back information to you using a tablet or phone based device in order to enter all of this information whilst they are out doing their training. Lastly, I'll go into the configuration section for the registration forms. That's in my company, and I'm actually in there a moment. There it is, the top one, registration forms, and it allows you to customize how this whole system works. So it allows you to choose which diaries, and every time notes are updated, you can receive an email from the system actually showing you what notes have been updated. Here's the CBT courses configuration section. There's the CBT based disclaimer, which you can change. Other courses allows you to list what your other courses are, and once again disclaimer information, and customize the feedback text if you want to add feedback to be selected nice and easily. That's been done on the test courses here. You'll see this is the feedback text, which allowed us to quickly select that text. Saves your instructors having to type it. And finally, the contact fields that actually appear on the contact information, so that your students can check their own information. You can customize the list of fields that are contained in that list. So that's registration forms, and I hope that you found the video useful and that you'll want to start using it in order to be able to gather information into your InContact system.